Today, we're embarking on an exciting journey as we set our sights on the horizon of blockchain innovation at XRP Ledger Apex 2024. Joining me are two esteemed guests, Prithvish Bhatia, lead engineer at Zoniqx, and Prasanth Kalangi, CEO and founder of Zoniqx. Prithvish, Prasanth, it's a pleasure to have you both here.
Hey, David. Really good to be here.
Pleasure to speak with you, David.
You want to tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do and a little bit about Zoniqx?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, a lead software engineer here, a lead architect. I've been here for about 2 years, been a co-author of ESSL 5 and 8, oversaw some of the great projects. It's really exciting work that we do over here. I've been coding for around 11 years. I started when I was 11. And previously, I was at Bioeconomy, where I built ERC 2.7.1 infrastructure, ERC 4.3.7 infrastructure. So all the core EVM infrastructures. And yeah, mostly been focused on these large-scale decentralized solutions. Prashant, you can go.
Yeah, so it's an absolute pleasure to be here. I'm a founder and CEO of Zoniqx, and I started this company in 2016 when I got an idea. The company was officially formed in 2022, but we started working since 2017. And at that time, there is no term called tokenization. And my background has been tech for a long time. I was working for Big Four Consulting quite some time. And here we are.
So I'm sure you guys are as excited about XRP Ledger Apex as I am. Can you talk about how you envision Apex fostering collaboration and driving innovation in the XRP Ledger community?
It's truly exciting. It really is a melting pot. It's unparalleled for networking, learning, and all this collaboration activity. There's going to be some really amazing DeFi discussions happening, especially in the security space. And we, of course, are very interested to see how people perceive the potential of DICEST and how it has the potential of revolutionizing the current asset tokenization scene. During my session, I'll be deep diving into the technical intricacies for the DICEST standard and how we have implemented it over XRP. And yeah, we would love to discuss how the future shapes up around it, how the ecosystem works, and what lies in the future of DeFi.
Which of you do you think would be best to tell everyone what you guys are working on at Zoniqx and how it contributes to the XRP Ledger ecosystem?
I can take a stab at it. So we are eagerly looking for attending Apex 2024 at XRP Ledger. This will be our first attendance. And since we signed up with Ripple building RWA native capabilities on XRP Ledger, Zoniqx is very excited to present this very deeply. And we have already done a little bit of presentation, joint session at Digital Assets Week London. And we're also going to do something at Austin Consensus, which is happening right around the corner, May 28th. So the Apex, XRP Ledger Apex 2024 is really exciting for me personally because it really represents a convergence of a lot of bright minds, young talent, and then people who are deeply connected with Web3 and then want to foster the ecosystem at a broader scale. And that's the beauty of it. And then there's a lot of open source community that's also going to be there. And we are very excited to discuss about what we have done with XRP Ledger with respect to RWA tokenization and the standardization across it, and also the protocols that we built, and that can be really given to the community and then see what magic they can do on the top of those.
I'm sure most of our listeners have probably heard about the announcement of a partnership between Zoniqx and Ripple. I understand you guys are going to be harnessing the robust, scalable infrastructure of the XRP Ledger and integrate it into your tokenization platform as a service, tokenization lifecycle management solutions. I guess, why don't you start by telling us what those buzzwords mean?
So basically, Zoniqx has got three main products. Okay, one is a white label platform. We call it tokenization platform as service. That's a turnkey solution for anyone to plug it in and then be up and running in 48 hours who does not know about RWA. That's one product. I'll expand more into that later. And the second one is a framework that we invented. We call it as a tokenization asset lifecycle management, TALM. So what it does is that it starts from the regulation legality framework till all the way to primary token issuance, to token distribution, to token trading, and also DeFi operations of the token. And these are all purely securities. These are fully under the regulations of the jurisdiction of the underlying asset, wherever this is being done. So that's the second product. And the third one is a protocol, a standard which we have built, that is known as ERC 7518 in Ethereum world, and under non-Ethereum world, such as XRP Ledger or any other one that is non-EVM, we call it as a DICEST, Dynamic Compliant Interoperable Security Token. This is a lot of words, I get it, but this is a holistic approach which Zoniqx has taken. And our partnership with XRP Ledger specifically to RWA tokenization is really to plug in this entire ecosystem of Zoniqx onto XRP Ledger by building native standard on XRP Ledger using trust lines, which XRP Ledger is a very mature system there, and leveraging and reusing that functionality and bringing the RWA entire ecosystem, what I just described, onto XRP Ledger. And that's the most exciting part for us.
Wow, I have so many questions, but I'll start with one that I think would probably be of the most interest to listeners. What's a real world tangible example of something where this would just be the perfect fit?
Perfect. I'll give you two examples. Number one,
Sure.
we have done billions of dollars of commercial real estate, multifamily assets, real tangible assets based in Houston, based in California, and some parts of Florida on chain. We brought them. And that is right from compliance, regulation, primary token issuance on the issuer side, representing them as digital tokens on blockchain. This is an EVM chain which we used when we started, and then still an EVM chain which we use. And we also help them to launch their entire token issuance, embedding the wallet infrastructure, the custody infrastructure, and also the payment rails, including KYC, KYB, and AML processes in place, all in one in a white label method. That is commercial real estate, which we have done. And the second one, which we are also doing, is data center project, green data centers. So it's a California-based company. They have got Cisco as one of their largest customers. They've been in the industry for about 20 years. And we are doing their global data centers. And it's an equity-based fund that's backing to the data centers. So people can invest in the fund tokens that are going to be giving yield and also equity against the data centers, which is an underlying asset of the fund that has got a certain yield and distribution. So that's the second project that is an interesting example.
Prithvish, how is Zoniqx going to use the XRP Ledger for real-world asset tokenization?
So we are big fans of the XRPL. We think it's a fantastic ledger with a lot of built-in capabilities, which tries to optimize and maximize between cost, simplicity, and flexibility. We believe that the number one thing we're targeting with our security tokens is accessibility. We want to make this market more accessible, bring on more liquidity, make it available to more people. That's the entire point of tokenization from our perspective. And the capabilities of the XRPL are particularly suited to make that happen.
Does your platform reduce the amount of blockchain expertise that someone would need to, let's say I wanted to launch a real world asset, a tokenization system, and maybe I wanted to launch it on more than one chain, or I'm not quite sure what chain I want. I don't have a lot of blockchain expertise. I imagine that since you're providing the sort of guts, that means that I don't need to have that much blockchain. Because like normally I would need to do very deep understanding of exactly all the blockchain mechanisms, everything. I assume that you probably remove a lot of that burden from your customers or your users.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you have really struck a chord here because this is one of the key things that we do, and we are very proud of how far we have come in this space. We offer a completely beginner-friendly platform. You don't even need to know what a blockchain is. You don't need to know that there's multiple behind the scenes. We like to think of it as being kind of like a chainless solution. You don't ever have to think about the chain level abstraction. We abstract over it and let you do what you're here to be doing, right? Through integrations with various partners, MPC partners, etc. We make it so that you don't even need a wallet to come in and sign up, right? You don't need to install external apps. You just sign in. We use your local digital enclave, be it through Apple Sign In, Face ID, whatever, and a wallet gets spun up for you. It is self-custodied and it is also recoverable, and you get access to all of this functionality.
And I imagine because it's a service, if there are changes in a blockchain, new versions of the XRP Ledger software come out. When Ethereum had migrated from proof of work to proof of stake, I imagine like if I was trying to integrate with those blockchains directly, I would have to deal with all of those things. But since you're providing a service that sort of abstracts that away, I imagine, do I not have to think about any of that? Do you guys do all that worry for me?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
I'm sorry.
We do all of that, yeah. So recently, Polygon just deprecated their Mumbai testnet. They went to AMI. And then our clients didn't even know about it. We were working behind the scenes and then we are ready for it. And then they don't need to even know about it, right? So that's the beauty of this platform. The clients are really focused on their business. They leave all the rest to companies like Zoniqx, and even any upgrades on XRPL that happens, any Ethereum forks, as you said. So it's completely taken care by us. And then we are integrating with every day with a new partner, whether it's we integrate with the Circle stablecoin. We integrate with multiple wallet providers, MPC wallet providers. We do multi-sig. So all this technical jargon, the clients doesn't need to know at all. So they focus on their core business leave all the rest to Zoniqx.
Yeah, that's extremely valuable from a security standpoint, from a cost standpoint. Just difficult to find experts in multiple blockchains. That just really, people who want to launch real world asset tokenization projects, they know their business, but they don't want to have to become blockchain experts to do it. That's fantastic. Let's pivot back to Apex and let's talk about Apex 2024. What advice would you give attendees who want to have a great experience there and get the most out of it?
I would say be very open to networking, firstly, and secondly, ask a lot of questions. There's a lot of times, even between spaces, between niches, within the same conference where you'll feel a little lost at times and you'll not know what's going on. So it's completely fine if that occurs. Feel free to ask questions. We are a friendly bunch. We are more than happy to help you out. And yeah, it's an amazing opportunity for networking. Engineers get to meet other engineers, the best business people, have so many ideas together. It pops up, so much collaboration. It's very incredible, creative. So yeah, don't be afraid to network, meet as many people as you can, attend as many sessions as you can, and ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, the amazing thing about an in-person event when you're there is just these completely spontaneous conversations, or the person who sits down next to you while you're eating, or after a session, you go to talk to the person who gave the session and someone else is asking them a similar question. Like that networking opportunity, there's just nothing like it. Prashant?
I couldn't agree more with Pradvesh. And XRP Ledger Apex 2024 is a really unique opportunity because it has got all the best and brightest minds there. Networking. Don't be shy. Come and talk. There could be a lot of use cases each of us have solved. Exchanging those thoughts and ideas, and then like brainstorming and a casual talk, right? There's no harm in having that. And then come prepared, be actively engaged. I'll tell you one small story, David. Okay. So I actually met my co-founder, Sanjeev, as part of one of these blockchain conferences, Web3 conferences. And then we teamed up. So, things can happen really well. And then that's a unique thing about Web3. And then especially XRPL community is really strong community and then very transparent, very, I would say, tight community, right? And then like an open-mindedness. So I think that's a key. We really can't wait to be participating. And we'll also learn a lot of stuff. We are experts in RWA tokenization. Maybe there might be something about stable coins, which we want to learn there. So there's a lot of opportunity for both sides.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different experience for me than probably for other people. It's kind of hard for me to walk around there, but I do try to network with people too and answer people's questions and try to do a little bit of matchmaking. It's always just a lot of fun. Of course, Amsterdam is fantastic.
Yeah, that's a fun place.
All right, let's do our listener question segment. So this is the fun part. So we answer questions from our listeners. If you look on Twitter, or I guess it's X now, I'm still going to call it Twitter, at RippleXDev, RippleXDev. We let people know who we're going to have conversations with, and we offer listeners the opportunity to submit some questions. So let's see what we got from the community. They've been firing in a bunch of questions. Oh, here's one from me, from at Cryptar2. Who are some of the most interesting people you've met in your years of attending Apex? I have to say, it's the younger people that just blow my mind. Like, it tends to be people between the ages of like 11 and 15. People in that age group, their level of excitement for things is just off the charts. And one of the things that just amazes me is just the level of technical understanding that they have. Because you understand, kids get excited about things, but they don't often know what's going on. And there's definitely some kids that just are just excited, and their level of understanding is not really ready. But there's also kids who just have deep, insightful questions. And that's just, I sometimes wonder whether adults have prompted them to ask. I had one kid who walked up to me at Apex last year to ask me if I was Satoshi, and I said no. And he had interesting, solid arguments for why he thought I might be. And I'm like, those are good. Like, your theories are consistent with the facts. That doesn't mean they're true, but they are consistent with the facts. The kid had clearly done his research to make sure that there wasn't any documented proof that what he was saying was not true. By the way, not Satoshi. I wish I was. I probably wouldn't be working at Ripple if we have a listener question, I think also from Cryptar2 to you guys. Who are you most looking forward to catching up with at Apex 2024? Me, maybe?
Yeah, no, I love to catch up with you and hear your couple of jokes. And like your jokes really crack me up. I had first-hand experience. Yeah, no, really. So I'm really looking at some of the topics really about scaling financial products on XRPL. with seamless user experiences by Cone. And then that's something that marked for me. And then like there's another interesting topic which I saw, NFTs for corporate bonds, which is an interesting topic, which I'm looking forward to doing it. And then also just how you said, right? I also love to interact with younger generation, younger kids. And there's a lot of like new passion and ideas they bring up with. And just like an open-minded networking, I really want to look forward. And then there's a lot of like sessions. I mean, and then if possible, I wanted in a couple of them.
Prithvish, any specific people that you're looking forward to meeting up with?
No, actually, I've really excited about the whole thing, and this is gonna be one of my first larger conferences I'll be attending. So it'll be fun to get to interact and meet with a lot of these people. Yeah, I mostly hang around in my local communities within India, like India, Bangalore, etc.
So we got a question from Yehor Malashev. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. YEHORMALYSHEV. Where would you guys like to see Apex take place next year? Please come to Istanbul. Yeah, we get a lot of requests from people who would love to see us in their local. I've never been to Istanbul. I'd like Apex to be there. I would love an excuse to go to Istanbul on Ripple's dime. Would be nice.
It's a beautiful city.
How do you feel about Istanbul first?
I mean, I went to Istanbul way back though when I was studying in Germany. So that's like 17 years ago. So I don't know how it is. Since then, I've not been there. But I mean, selfishly, I want you guys to come to Asia because there's a lot of action coming in Asia, or maybe UAE is what I would say. Maybe Hong Kong or Bangkok or Dubai. I would say these are the three choices for me. And then, yeah, so I think that's what I think Apex would do really well. And then people are excited to welcome you guys.
Where would you like to see Apex, Prithvish?
I would say Bangalore. Bangalore, yeah, it's a really good place.
There have been 2 times when I was going to go to India, and one time COVID, and the other time the company that I was going to meet with changed their plans. It's very unfortunate. I got cheated out of going to India twice. So, all right. My favorite segment. I always do this at the end of Block Stars, and it's kind of cruel because I hate when people do this to me. They make you make predictions, make you pull out a crystal ball, and I don't like doing it. But listeners, I mean, I like doing it to other people. I don't like when people do it to me because you always have to worry that like 10 years from now, someone's going to pull out your prediction and it's going to be completely and totally like as wrong as something could be. But it's always fun. So we just you guys to pull out your crystal balls. And I guess I'll ask broadly, like, where do you think the blockchain industry is going to be in the next, I don't know, let's say 4 to 7 years? Who wants to go first?
I believe, there's like two thoughts, okay? So, one is like, there are number of blockchains floating around, right? There's number of layer ones, layer twos coming around. And then I believe there's going to be consolidation happening in those. And then there's this whole argument of public-private hybrid chains is also going to be kind of ironed out a little bit. Personally, I prefer public blockchains. But the space we are in is heavily regulated space and heavily compliant space in the RWA tokenization. So there's a little bit of like education we have to do. And then in 4 to 7 years, I believe the number of blockchains is going to shrink. And that's one thing. And the second thing is that it'll be going into real use cases, more and more real adoption of use cases. I know we talk about Bored Apes, NFTs, and all this stuff. I believe that that's really is now already in the back end. But I think like the foreground is going to be occupied by real world asset tokenization, programmable money that's going to be changing the lives of this. Really stable coins, how we settle transactions in terms of the timeliness, which T plus 0 is already coming up. So that's the second aspect. So there's a financial aspect, digital money, programmable money, plus a real use case of real world asset tokenization, consolidation of blockchains. And then all these other stuffs will become table stakes, in my opinion, really having your KYCs, AMLs, and settlements, and then wallets. So this is what my prediction is. Either more real use cases, less number of chains, and more confidence, more clarity on regulation.
Prithvish, why is Prasanth completely wrong? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I wish I had a snappy comeback and I could be like, no, here's what's actually going to happen. But no, in reality, I think I agree pretty much with everything Prashant said. It was pretty spot on. Here's how I like to think about it. If there's going to be an economy on Mars, right, the financial layer of that will definitely be built on a distributed ledger. As humanity progresses, as all of these tools become more approachable, it seems to be very clear that blockchains and the financial application of it is completely perfect. And you don't really have a better means of visualizing finance than blockchains. And the impact of achieving actual real value out of blockchains is also something that is very true that Prashant pointed out. Right now, we have a lot of zero sum use cases. It's controversial to talk about, but all of these meme coins, shit coins end up spinning every bull run. It's fun. It's fun, but it is zero sum. And right now, because of all of these, because of all the money, people irresponsibly essentially betting on meme coins, they have lost. Crypto has kind of gained a notoriety, kind of a bad taste in the mouth with public, right? So that's something they're still fighting, still defending. I see that within the next 4 to 7 years, as more and more mainstream adoptions of crypto takes place, and we see actual good, solid use cases, the first initial bad impression would start to fade away. More and more people will open up and understand, okay, so this is what it truly means, right? This is what the point of a blockchain is. It becomes more important. And I think another very interesting thing is with the emergence of AI, again, it's hard to say when we'll actually get AGI. But in the time between then and now, with the rapid space, with the rapid change in the movement, our economy would need to see some tremendous changes in order for it to support every single person. We'll see a lot of unemployment, but we would see also a lot of surplus. We would see kind of this new era for humanity where there is enough for everyone. Having a universal basic income on a universal scale could potentially be something that could be looked at, and there would be no better platform than having a blockchain to be doing all these kind of disbursements. So yeah, some very large scale shouts. Hope just one of them pans out to be true, and people call me a visionary. Really hope that happens. But yeah, that's.
I think the consolidation of blockchains is probably a pretty safe bet. I think when any technology is new, people try everything. And just because someone comes up with an improvement on something doesn't mean the original thing immediately dies off, but probably eventually the better thing will outcompete and so I think you will have this consolidation where only chains that find some real use case will continue to exist. I'm conflicted about the expansion of meme coins. Like it is kind of zero sum, and it is a transfer of money from people who are not so smart to people who are, in some cases, ruthless and evil. But the reality is there's a lot of self-fulfilling prophecy in this industry, not just from price. Like some of it is from price. Like if you think something's going to go up in value, you're going to want to buy it, which will drive it up in value. But it's not just that. If you think some technology is going to become popular, like you guys built this entire platform for real-world asset tokenization, you didn't do that because you thought real-world asset tokenization was going to fail and you were trying to save it. You thought real-world asset tokenization is probably going to be a big thing. We think we could do that really well, right? Like you didn't think if I don't do this, no one's going to do this and there won't be any real, right? And I noticed that, and this is of course completely unsurprising, both of you thought that the things that you were working on would figure prominently in the future. And that's not because, I hope it's not because you think you're going to be so important that you're going to make those industry sectors, although you might, but it's probably because you picked those sectors to work on because you thought they were the interesting ones and the ones that were likely to make sense and work. Right?
Yeah.
If Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb, we wouldn't be watching TV by candlelight, right? Someone else would have invented the light bulb. Like he worked on it because he thought it was, so there's this sort of self-fulfilling prophecy aspect that people will work on and build the things that they think are going to be successful. And so those will become the things that will be successful. And I'm often conflicted when I look at things like meme coins. And to some extent, even with NFTs that are collectibles have real value. People enjoy them, but people enjoy meme coins.
True.
But also there's a predatory aspect. You're paying $2,000 for a machine-generated picture that you don't even really own.
Right.
So I am a little bit conflicted about that.
I can still see the value of NFTs because there's kind of a culture, kind of a community aspect with NFTs. But you get to express your individuality and your belonging in the community.
You can see both sides, and you can see meme coins as harmless fun. Like if there were tens of millions of dollars, it's hard to see it as harmless fun. But sure, I mean, I like this. This dog is really cute. I want to own some of it. I think more people will feel the same way I will, and maybe I'll make some money. But obviously, when the dollar amounts get very large, then it starts to look like, more like a scam.
I have one question for you, David. Okay.
Of course.
So, what is XRPL's strategy for RWAs? Just give me 30 seconds.
Well, putting my XRP Ledger person hat on, the Ledger strategy is to provide the technological base to allow people to build real world assets on it, to allow them to build them at low cost, to allow them to issue them and get the sort of life cycle experiences that they want, and to enable companies like you. Obviously the XRP Ledger can't take on a retail customer directly. It can't form a business relationship. And so all it can do is provide the tools that people like you need to bring people onto it. Ripple as a company, has a strategy to promote trust in XRP and the utility of the XRP ledger. And so our strategy is to find companies and to get them building and to make sure that people understand what the advantages and what the use cases are around the XRP ledger and form partnerships with companies like Zoniqx to make sure that for people where the technology is a good fit for the problems that they have, they don't have technical barriers. One of the biggest challenges that I think the XRP ledger as a system has is that there isn't that much developer expertise. Like if you want to build a project on top of an EVM chain, it's very easy to find developers. And so I think the big one is just to make sure that if you have a problem that the XRP ledger is a good solution to, and you never knew the XRP ledger even supported real world asset tokenization, then you're going to use an inferior solution. And that doesn't benefit anyone. Or if you like the XRP ledger's fit, but you can't find a developer because there just aren't enough of them. So I think the strategy is to make sure that there aren't those obstacles.
I agree. Thank you. I think because I just need to throw it out there. It took us 9 months to build on XRP Ledger natively on RWA. And then it is difficult, not because the system is so beautifully done and it's, you have to spend a lot of time to understand every component of it, coming from an EVM background to shift the gears, mental gears to see how it fits.
It is different.
All the entire pieces. Yeah. It is different. So to your comment, that is something that I would agree. Yeah. So it took us 9 months to build on the entire engine on XRP Ledger.
And that's sort of the challenge. Building to any blockchain from zero, is a heavy lift. And that's why you guys are important, because if everybody who wanted to launch a real world asset tokenization project and said, hey, the XRP Ledger is a good fit for me, now I got to go hire a bunch of engineers, train them, and either find people who have XRP Ledger experience or train them. And it's going to take 9 months. And obviously, that's a non-starter. So we're glad you guys are here.
Yeah. Yeah, and they don't need to do any more now. So Zoniqx is there. Yep. XRP Ledger is there. So that's it.
Yeah, so problem solved.
True.
I want to thank my guests, Prithvish Vadia and Prasanth Kalangi. It was a pleasure hosting you on Blockstars. I'm looking forward to seeing both of you in person at Apex in a few weeks. Oh, and here's a chance to plug your socials, guys.
Thank you so much.
Follow Earthish at @Earth_ISH on Twitter.
Hey guys, follow me at Twitter, Kalangi, and on LinkedIn, Prasanth Kalangi, and at Zoniqx Inc. on Twitter.
Huge thank you to our listeners, as always, for tuning in. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me on Twitter at Joel. I guess I should have to say on X now. God, I'm never going to be on X at Joel Katz, JoelKatz. And remember to follow at RippleXDev on Twitter. X to keep up with the latest industry news, technical updates, and cool new developer projects from the community. See you around the blockchain.